how did you get from Indiana to Fort Knox?
I don't remember
Okay.
how that happened.
Okay. During this time, how did you stay in touch with family members and home and those kind of
Letters.
letters?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wrote letters.
Okay.
And occasional visits. Somebody would have a car usually, and maybe once a month or every so many weeks you could get a ride with somebody back home.
Right, right.
And I did that.
Okay. So after Fort Knox, what was the progression then?
And at Fort Knox, and the main reason I contacted you was to tell you about the atomic bomb.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
While working at the headquarters company, a request came in for X number of soldiers to volunteer for an atomic bomb test. And so it sounded like a great adventure, and I volunteered for that. Company commander was hesitant to have me go. I think he was worried about the bad effects of the atomic bomb. But he did agree reluctantly to let me go. So there was enough of us from Fort Knox to fill up a chartered airplane.
Oh, okay. What rank were you then?
Private first class.
Okay.
Private first class.
And what year was this?
1950. I have to review my notes. 1953.
Oh, okay. Okay.
1953.
Okay,
So we wore our uniforms, our MP uniforms, wore 45 pistols on our hips, and we all boarded this plane. Looked pretty dramatic. And we got on the plane, but the plane was defective and it kept undulating on the way to Nevada. So they had to make an emergency landing in Winslow, Arizona. And because of the undulation, most of the people were sick and throwing up on the plane.
Right.
Quite a mess. Anyway, we waited several hours, and they got the spare part they needed and took off. And then we finally got to Nevada.
Okay.
And we were trucked out to the desert, and they had tents set up. So we lived in tents out there for a few days, 3 or 4 days.
Okay. What type? Do you recall what type plane that might have been?
No.
Okay, it was just a troop.
It was a chartered charter company plane.
Oh, it was a commercial.
Commercial.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now you're in tents in Nevada. How did this process of volunteering? Did you know what you were volunteering for?
Yes.
You did.
Yeah.
It actually said witnessing the atomic bomb.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which sounded like great fun.
Yeah. Okay. I guess. Yeah.
So then they said, now we're not that far from Las Vegas. We'll draw straws to see who stays in tonight for KP, Kitchen Police, and then the rest of you can go in and see Las Vegas. So I stayed in for KP that night, and they all had fun, but we heard great stories. And eventually, a day or so later, I did get in to Las Vegas to see the casinos, which are very grand. So the next day we got instructions on what would be going on, what we had to do and where and so on. And shall I go on?
Yeah. This was like, I'm just noticing it was April of 1953. Does that mean? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And so we got up long before dawn, and we're trucked out to the test site on Yucca Flats, an area of Nevada. And trenches had been dug before we got there, and there were berms. When the dirt came up, it made berms in front of each trench. So they had, I think they had about 550 troops from around the USA, so we were scattered in these different trenches. There were loudspeakers at the end of the trench. And we would jump into the trench, and then the administrators, the scientists, were somewhere behind us, and they could give us instructions over the loudspeakers. So they told us when the time comes that you would hear over the loudspeaker, there would be a countdown from 10 on down, and then the bomb would be detonated. We were to be in a crouch position and to have our hands over our eyes. There were no ear protectors at this